Imagine this: you're standing in a room with two doors. One leads to freedom, the other to a trap. You have no way of knowing which is which. But here's the twist: the moment you choose a door, the other one disappears. Was it ever really there? Or did your decision rewrite reality itself? This isn't just a clever riddle, it's a glimpse into the bizarre world of quantum physics, where particles exist in multiple states until observed. Could the same strange rules govern your mind? Think about it: your thoughts are fluid, shifting, and often contradictory. One moment you're certain, the next, you're paralyzed by doubt. What if this mental dance isn't just a metaphor? What if your brain operates on the same quantum principles that baffle physicists? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Consider Schrödinger's cat, simultaneously alive and dead until someone opens the box. Now, apply that to your own decisions. Are you confident or uncertain? Optimistic or pessimistic? Until you focus, could you be both? The implications are staggering. Could your mind be a quantum playground, where every thought collapses infinite possibilities into a single reality? For centuries, we've separated science from the mysteries of consciousness. But what if that boundary is an illusion? What if the same forces that govern atoms also shape your thoughts? This isn't just about physics, it's about you. Your mind, your choices, your reality. Are you ready to explore how the quantum world rewires the way you think? What if your thoughts aren't just electrical impulses firing in your brain? What if consciousness itself is a quantum phenomenon, governed by the same mysterious laws that dictate the behavior of particles at the smallest scales? This is the bold, provocative idea at the heart of our journey. Quantum physics doesn't just describe the universe, it might also describe us. For centuries, we've viewed the mind as a machine, a deterministic system where cause and effect rule supreme. But quantum mechanics shatters that simplicity. It introduces uncertainty, superposition, entanglement, concepts that defy our everyday logic. Could these principles also apply to the way we think, feel, and make decisions? Imagine this: every decision you make isn't a single, clear-cut choice but a superposition of possibilities, collapsing into reality only when observed. Your thoughts might not follow a straight path but exist in a probabilistic haze, influenced by forces we're only beginning to understand. This isn't just philosophy, it's a radical reimagining of what it means to be conscious. The implications are staggering. If quantum processes underpin our minds, then free will isn't an illusion, it's a fundamental feature of the universe. Our creativity, intuition, even our sense of self, could be quantum phenomena, deeply intertwined with the fabric of reality. This isn't just science, it's a story about who we are, told through the lens of the cosmos. So, are we quantum beings, living in a quantum world? The answer might lie at the intersection of physics and philosophy, where the mysteries of the mind meet the mysteries of the universe. This is the core idea: to understand ourselves, we might first need to understand the quantum. Imagine a world where the very fabric of reality is uncertain, where particles exist in multiple states at once, and where observation itself alters the outcome. This wasn't science fiction, it was the dawn of quantum theory in the early 20th century. But how did this radical shift in physics begin? It started with Max Planck's groundbreaking discovery of quantized energy in 1900, a concept so bizarre it shook the foundations of classical physics. Yet, Planck himself struggled to accept the implications of his own work. Was the universe truly governed by probabilities, not certainties? The stage was set for a revolution. /n/n enter Albert Einstein, who, in 1905, took Planck's idea and ran with it, proposing that light itself was quantized. But even Einstein, the architect of relativity, balked at the notion of a probabilistic universe. God does not play dice, he famously declared. Yet, as the 1920s unfolded, figures like Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg pushed the boundaries further, introducing concepts like wave-particle duality and the uncertainty principle. The universe, it seemed, was stranger than anyone had imagined. \n\n. But why should philosophy and psychology care about particles and probabilities? Because quantum theory wasn't just a scientific breakthrough, it was a philosophical earthquake. Thinkers like Arthur Eddington and John Wheeler began to ponder, if reality is observer-dependent, what does that mean for human consciousness? Could the mind itself play a role in shaping the physical world? These questions blurred the lines between science and metaphysics, sparking debates that continue to this day. \n\n. By the mid-20th century, quantum theory had infiltrated psychology. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, collaborated with physicist Wolfgang Pauli to explore the parallels between quantum mechanics and the human psyche. They proposed that the unconscious mind operated in ways eerily similar to quantum systems, uncertain, interconnected, and deeply mysterious. Was the mind a quantum machine? The idea was tantalizing, yet controversial. \n\n. So, what does this historical journey tell us? That the birth of quantum theory wasn't just about equations and experiments, it was a profound reimagining of reality itself. It challenged our understanding of existence, consciousness, and the very nature of truth. And as we delve deeper into the quantum mind, we're still grappling with these monumental questions. The story of quantum theory is not just the story of science, it's the story of humanity's quest to understand itself. Imagine standing at the edge of a quantum universe, where particles exist not in one state, but in a swirling cloud of possibilities. This is superposition, a fundamental principle of quantum mechanics where particles can be in multiple states at once until observed. But what if I told you this isn't just physics? This is the very essence of how your mind works. When faced with a decision, don't you hold multiple outcomes in your thoughts simultaneously? Isn't your mind a kaleidoscope of possibilities, just like a quantum particle? The parallels are staggering, and they force us to rethink what it means to think. Could the quantum world be a mirror of our own mental processes? Let's dive deeper. The human mind is a master of uncertainty. When you're deciding between two paths, whether it's a career move, a relationship, or even what to have for dinner, your brain doesn't collapse into a single choice immediately. Instead, it lingers in a state of flux, weighing options, considering outcomes, and holding multiple realities at once. This isn't indecision, this is superposition in action. It's the mind's way of exploring the infinite before committing to the finite. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. In quantum mechanics, superposition isn't just about being in two places at once, it's about existing in all possible states until an observation forces a collapse. Similarly, your mind thrives in ambiguity, flourishing in the space between what is and what could be. It's this ability to juggle possibilities that makes creativity, innovation, and even survival possible. Think about it, every great idea, every leap of faith, every moment of insight begins with the mind holding multiple truths at once. Isn't that how art is born? Isn't that how progress happens? The quantum mind isn't just a metaphor, it's a revelation. Physics and psychology collide in this space, revealing a profound truth: our brains are wired to navigate uncertainty with the same elegance as the quantum world. So the next time you're torn between choices, remember this: you're not stuck, you're in superposition. And that's where the magic happens. Picture this: two particles, separated by vast distances, yet mysteriously linked. Change one, and the other responds instantaneously, as if whispering across the cosmos. This isn't science fiction, it's quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so bizarre it baffled even Einstein, who famously called it spooky action at a distance. But what if this strange connection between particles isn't just a quirk of physics? What if it's a profound metaphor for the ties that bind us all, our relationships, our thoughts, our shared humanity? Think about the people in your life. The bonds that connect you, whether it's a lifelong friendship, a fleeting encounter, or a shared moment of understanding, aren't just emotional. They're threads in a vast, invisible web, pulling and shaping one another in ways we can't always see. Just like entangled particles, our lives are intertwined, influencing each other across time and space. A kind word spoken today might ripple into someone's future, altering their path in ways we'll never fully grasp. Now, zoom out. Imagine humanity as a collective consciousness, a network of minds pulsating with ideas, emotions, and intentions. When one person shifts, whether through creativity, compassion, or courage, it sends vibrations through the whole system. History shows us this: revolutions, movements, breakthroughs, they all begin with a spark that ignites countless others. Could entanglement be the scientific echo of this universal interconnectedness? And here's the kicker: entanglement isn't just about connection, it's about unity. Two particles, no matter how far apart, behave as one. Isn't that the ultimate truth of our existence? Beneath the surface of individuality, we're all part of something greater, a cosmic dance where every step matters. The choices we make, the energy we radiate, the love we share, these aren't isolated acts. They're threads in the tapestry of life, weaving a story that's bigger than any one of us. So, what does this mean for us? It's a call to recognize the power of our connections, to see ourselves not as solitary beings but as integral parts of a living, breathing whole. It's a reminder that every action, every thought, every moment of kindness reverberates through the fabric of existence. In a universe where particles are forever entangled, perhaps we are too bound together in ways we're only beginning to understand. The question is, how will you use that connection to shape the world? Imagine standing in a dark room, holding a flashlight. The moment you flick it on, the room transforms. Shadows shift, objects emerge, and the space itself seems to change. But here's the question: did the flashlight reveal what was already there, or did it create a new reality? This is the essence of the observer effect, a phenomenon that blurs the line between seeing and shaping the world. In quantum physics, it's not just a metaphor, it's a startling truth. Particles don't exist in a fixed state until they're observed. The act of measurement doesn't just detect reality, it defines it. Now, shift your gaze from the subatomic to the personal. Could it be that your perception does more than interpret reality, it actively molds it? Think about it: when you walk into a room filled with strangers, your expectations, your mood, even your body language, subtly influence the dynamics around you. You're not just a passive observer, you're a co-creator of the experience. The observer effect isn't confined to labs, it's alive in every interaction, every moment of your life. But how does this work? In quantum physics, the observer effect hinges on the collapse of the wave function. Until observed, particles exist in a superposition, a haze of possibilities. The act of measurement forces them to choose a state. Similarly, in your daily life, your focus, your attention, your beliefs, act as a lens that collapses infinite possibilities into a single, tangible reality. What you choose to see or ignore shapes the world you inhabit. Consider this: every time you face a challenge, you're not just reacting to an external event, you're influencing its outcome. If you approach it with fear, the challenge grows larger, more insurmountable. But if you shift your perspective, if you observe it with curiosity or determination, the same challenge transforms. It's not magic, it's the observer effect in action. Your perception doesn't just reflect reality, it rewrites it. So, what does this mean for you? It means that the world isn't a fixed stage where you're merely an audience member. You're an active participant, shaping your reality with every glance, every thought, every decision. The observer effect reminds us that the boundary between the observer and the observed is fluid, permeable. In the quantum realm and in your life, perception isn't just a window, it's a sculptor's tool. And with it, you hold the power to mold the universe, one observation at a time. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice, staring into the unknown. That's exactly where Sarah found herself, a 34-year-old software engineer drowning in self-doubt, paralyzed by the fear of failure. But what if the very principles governing the universe could offer her a way out? Enter quantum physics. Sarah didn't just study it, she lived it. She began to see her life through the lens of superposition, the idea that particles exist in multiple states at once until observed. What if her potential wasn't fixed, but fluid? What if she could be both confident and uncertain, successful and learning, all at the same time? Sarah's breakthrough came when she applied the concept of entanglement to her relationships. In quantum physics, entangled particles remain connected, no matter the distance. Sarah realized her mindset wasn't isolated, it was entangled with her environment, her choices, and even her past. By shifting her focus to the present moment, she began to untangle herself from the narratives holding her back. She stopped seeing failure as a dead end and instead as a feedback loop, a chance to recalibrate. But quantum principles aren't just abstract ideas, they're actionable. Sarah embraced the uncertainty principle, which states that the more precisely you measure one property of a particle, the less precisely you can measure another. She applied this to her own life, understanding that she couldn't control every outcome. Instead of obsessing over perfection, she leaned into the beauty of unpredictability. She started taking risks, applying for jobs